Hello everyone, you're most welcome to another sewing tutorial with Diamond Clothiers. It's always a pleasure to have you here. If this is the first time you are coming across this channel, kindly click on the subscription button and don't forget to put on your notification bell as well. So in today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to make this pretty black dress. So I have my Duchess fabric, have my crinoline, ad net, the lining I'm making use of is a taffeta, and then I have a white satin that I'll be using to make the bow, and also I'll be making use of bead to use on the strap. Okay, so let's get started with the tutorial. And the first thing we are going to do is to draft our pattern, and of course you are going to rule out a straight line first of all, which is going to be the shoulder line. So because I'm making this for a 1 year old, it's still going to be a very little pattern drafting. So our shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 4.5 inches. Okay, and then the neck width that I'm working with is 2 inches, and the neck depth I'm working with is 2 inches. I'm just making use of this neck depth for now. We don't really need it. So for the shoulder slope on that shoulder line, I'll come down by half of an inch, and then I'll connect it to the neck width. So the next thing I will do is to work on an armhole, and I'll measure 4.5 inches, okay, which is going to also be our shoulder to chest line. After that is done, the next thing I will do is to draw a straight line upwards to connect the chest line to the shoulder slope. And also I'm going to be measuring the full length of the half cut. So what I'm making use of is 8 inches. I'll go ahead and draw a straight line across. So on the chest line, I'm going to take a round bust measurement divided by 4, which is 5.5 inches. Then I will add a sewing allowance of 1 inch, making 6.5 inches. I'll go ahead and take the same measurement on the waistline as well. Then I'll connect it. The next thing I will do is to use my curve rule to connect the armhole and give it a curve. So to work on the neckline, on the chest line, I'll go up by 2 inches. I'm making it for a child and I don't want her body to be exposed too much. So I'll mark 2 inches and rule a straight line across. You can decide to leave the line this straight, and you can decide to give it a little curve. What I did was to give it a little curve. After curving the neckline according to whatever shape you want, go ahead and measure what you have between the chest line and the shoulder line. That is the exact measurements you'll be making use of to cut out your strap. So when you are done taking the measurements, go ahead and cut it out like you see me doing. When you are done, you should have it looking this way, and I've gone ahead to use the pattern to cut out both the front and the back. And for the back, I only added zipper allowance to it, and on all other side I added half of an inch all round. The reason I have this white fabric right here is because the fabric I'm making use of is black and my workspace is also black. I don't want it to look dull and not visible enough. That is why I have to lay this white fabric. So when you are done cutting out your fabric, go ahead and cut out the lining as well. Right now we'll be working on the flare. So go ahead and fold your fabric into 4 equal parts. Go ahead and fold it into 4 equal parts. You can see the way I folded mine. So go ahead and fold it like that. So from the pointed edge, what I have right there is 27 inches after measuring it. So because I want to gather this skirt, I won't be cutting the exact waist measurement. I'm going to make it bigger than what I need so I can gather it. So I have 27 inches right there. So I'll measure that same 27 inches all round until I get to the folded edge. So go ahead and do the same thing on your fabric. So when you are done cutting, yours should also look like this. So from the end, from the down part, I'm going to be measuring the full length of this skirt. So I'll be working with 12 inches. So from the edge, I'll measure 12 inches upwards, then I'll mark it. Okay, then I'll take my tape to the pointed edge and I'll measure what I have. So what I have right there is 14.5 inches. Then just like we did earlier, I'm going to measure that 14.5 inches all around, and then I'll cut it out. I hope you understand what I just did now. I did this so that I can get a fuller skirt. That was why I have to cut from the down part. Okay, after cutting it this way, we have to gather it to make it full. So if you can get something more than this, it's going to be really really nice. If yours can be fuller than what I have right here, so go ahead and cut it out. And after I was done cutting, this is what mine looks like. So at this point, if you are still watching, thank you so much for staying to this moment. Please don't forget to put on your notification bell and of course subscribe to this channel. All right, so go ahead and cut out your lining as well, just the same way you cut out the main fabric. Go ahead and cut out your lining. And of course, if you look at the picture on the thumbnail very well, it has a crinoline at the down part. So the crinoline they actually make use of is a bigger one. I couldn't get the bigger one on time, so I just had to use what I have. Okay, so that one is like times two of this, is really really wide. It would have given us that effect that I wanted. So about the strap, remember the measurement I said you should take earlier? Mine was actually 2.75. Then I added half of an inch on both edge. I hope you understand. So I'll be placing it this way. After placing it this way on the top, I will lay the lining on it. Then I'm going to sew the neckline and also the armhole as well. Okay, so when I'm done doing it this way, I'll still do the same thing to the back as well. I'll put the strap in between the main fabric of the back part and the lining. I hope you understand. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine to stitch it down through the neckline, the armhole, and also by the side. All right, so when I was done, this is what I have. You can see that it's looking nice already. Okay, so the next thing I will do is to take a body measurement again. I'll take a body measurement, then I'm going to stitch the side with the sewing allowance that I left earlier. All right, so the skirt here is what it looks like with her crinoline. If you notice the picture on the thumbnail, it doesn't have any stitch on it. What did they use? The trick they made use of is to work with Amy gum, and that was what I used while I was making use of this. But mine was rumpled, because if you check very well, you notice that it is rumpled. Why? Because I didn't make use of an iron. I made use of a steamer, and steamer, there's a limit to how you can control it. But if you're making use of an iron, that one will give you a better result. Okay, so what I ended up doing was to just losing it, and then I went ahead to stitch it on my machine. All right, so on the lining we'll be taking our hard net. We'll be sewing our hard net on it. So the length of this hard net is 5 inches. The width is 5 inches. It is 5 inches wide, and so from the waistline you have to come down by 1.5 inches. Then you go ahead, you can decide to pleat it all round or you gather it all round, either ways. So to place the other one, you just have to lift up the first one a little bit, and then you do the same thing. You pleat it or you gather it from one end till the other end. So this is what the top looks like after joining the sides. And the skirt also, this is what it looks like after gathering it at the waistline. And also for the lining, this is what it looks like after adding the ad net on it. So the next thing we do right now is to attach all of this, is to join all of this together. So the top is going to be in between, and the skirt and the top is going to be facing each other on the right side, while the right side of the lining will be facing the wrong side of the top. Make sure you arrange it properly. You can decide to use your pin to hold it down, then you take it to your sewing machine to stitch it down. All right, after joining, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. You can see the inside that it is so neat, and you can just imagine what it is going to look like on a baby girl. You can see that it's taking shape already, and it's looking so beautiful. All right, so the next thing we'll do right now is to attach our zipper, and for that, you are going to be measuring the length you want your zipper to reach, and then the remaining parts of the dress you are going to take it to your sewing machine to close it down. And also on your sewing machine, go ahead and attach your zipper. And when I'm done, I'll come back to show us what it looks like. So this is how pretty it looks when I was done joining the zipper. You can see that this is really pretty. Please don't forget to cover up. Make sure you conceal the edges of the crinoline when you are done. You know how harmful it can be for a child. Make sure you conceal it. I've gone ahead to do that. So on the lining as well, make sure you interlock it so that the lining won't be fraying. So the next thing, which is almost the last thing we do, is to create our bow. So for this bow, it is 7 inches by 10.5 inches. So the width is 10.5 inches and the length is 7.5 inches. So I've gone ahead to create this tiny piece that I'll be using to join it in the middle. Unfold is 0.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to fold it this way. You can see what I'm doing. Then I'll use my needle and thread to hold it in place. All right, so after that is done, I'll place it on the center back, okay, towards the zipper, not on the zipper area, please. So use your needle and thread to attach it to one side, and also on all these 4 points on the on one side you use your needle and thread to attach it to the main dress. On the other side you will use press button to attach it. Okay, so the very last thing we do is to bead on the strap. Okay, you can see the beading they did on the strap is actually better than mine, so just bear with me. So go ahead and bead on yours, and after I was done, you can see my baby now. See how my baby looks so pretty in this dress. You can see that this tutorial is really easy. So don't forget to like, to comment, let me know how you feel, and of course subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. See you in my next one. Bye.